Yeah, you know, I don't...
First pick Rengar instead. Yeah, that's the way to do it. All right. Well, Trundle's no new surprise, but FPX still have Aphelios you were mentioning. I don't have the Jarvan. Is it just Lee Sin time again?
Yeah, again, I don't feel like you change up this rotation. I don't believe this was the problem. We saw it in game. These players looked fine on these champions in game 1. The Aphelios still just really strong, and Tian Lee Sin has always been such a strong champion.
But at least to create excitement here, I feel like we start looking at different solo laners, because if the bottom lane's going to remain the same or go back to game 1 here for EDG, and we expect here the Kaisa. What did we pair with it last time? Was it the Brom?
Yes.
Game 1 was not that long ago, was
Game
it?
1 feels so long ago now.
Yeah, but it definitely was.
Oh, it was
the
a Sett, yeah,
support.
and that's open once again. So, and I love it on the blue side since it is a flex pick, so you just have so much versatility in your draft, and it really leaves FPX in an awkward position come the 4-5 bans, because, again, EDG can put that wherever they need.
And we've also seen the damage out of Halo Blade's Kaisa plus Omni Stone Sett as well. He finds Electrocute pretty much at some point in that lane, which is always nice. But Leona picked up here from Crisp. And if you were watching Worlds last year, if you were watching any of the playoffs, Crisp played this a heck of a lot. He was one of the first to bring it out in the LPL, and now we're just at a comfortable point where it's meta. Chris will show you how, though.
But now, once we get to these mid and late game team fights, you're going to be in a really awkward position if you're LWX with people like Hope just able to jump on top of you. Of course, Scout can get on top of you, and really depending on where EDG go with the 4-5 pick, there's going to be no protection for LWX going into this game.
They're already setting up a bit of a wombo with the Leona, so EDG are like, no, you're not going to have the Galio yet again. There's no Wukong on the table either. Slimming out the solo lanes yet again here. Do we ban away Syndra after that performance?
I feel like for Doinb, though, you can go towards more of a damage-oriented champion. I remember the Rumble was banned in Game 1.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was banned in Game 2. I don't think it was. But
I think it was.
Oh, yeah. Was it? So going towards, again, something that can give him more pressure in the laning phase. We do still have a lot of these obscure champions that he can pick up. Of course, there's something like the Renekton, which gives you a ton of early-game pressure and priority early.
I'm surprised we've actually gotten this far without Renekton. This Kassadin as a final ban against FPX has become a must-ban here with a high win rate.
Just go towards the Aatrox again. It's just such a safe blind pick in the top side, so Gimgoon has looked good on it in the game, so I would expect it to come out. And this time around, we actually do have that Rumble open.
Oh, we do too. Do you pick it up? Because you know that Doinb last pick, pretty much no matter what, will look to secure this. So take it away. I think you do.
I don't think Scouts played this split.
You want me to check my magic notes?
And Syndra does do fine into the actual lane matchup, so you do have pressure in there, especially with the jungler being Trundle. Pillars present such an awkward kind of thing for Rumble since you don't have any mobility, right? You put the pillar behind you, it's like, oh my god, well.
What do I do now?
Yeah, that into a Scout of the Week, into an ultimate, Rumble's pretty much just dead.
But we've already got a Kaisa Sett bot. We've got a Syndra mid. Win lane, win game.
Whoa.
What do you think, Lyric?
But we have Jinoo on Jayce.
I think that is winning a lane.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to look for this pure lane dominance, and their composition this time around being pretty weird. We do expect to see Meiko once again go towards that Omni Stone, so you're going to be pretty squishy on the side of EDG, but you do have a lot of long-range damage. Of course, the Kaisa W, everything in Jayce's kit, as well as Syndra, so a lot of poke and some peeling options coming out from that Trundle. And I love, I keep saying this for FPX. FPX just keep doing what we know them for. Yeah,
the FPX style of composition, and Doinb is well known for his Rumble. It has been his most played, or at least up there with his Sylas this split. And now that we've got an FPX Rumble, things spice up a little bit. Like, we're back towards the ability to die bottom lane. And a question of what is going to be on the rune page here for Doinb as well.
Like, we could question it, but the fact that it is Doinb, I expect it to be Predator.
Predator?
Yeah.
He actually went Conqueror Rumble for a long time in the mid lane too.
He was, which, again, right, you have three options on that champion, Conqueror, Comet, or Predator. Comet being a lot more for your trades in lane.
I don't think he's ever taken
Comet. Yeah, no, he hasn't. Conqueror being for the team fights, Predator being able to get to those side lanes quicker.
Yeah.
That one does fit Doinb's playstyle more, but seeing something like the Conqueror would be interesting, but we talked about how EDG's comp has so many options to play from a distance.
Yeah, really. The range advantage here available. Jinoo on Jayce as well. Like I was saying in that last game, we want to see him on carries, right? The Cannon was a great start. The Jayce really ups the tempo there, and Gimgoon is going to have a difficult time here in this game.
Yeah, and we talked about how Jinoo loves these side lane champions. For anyone who doesn't know, Jinoo actually came into the league as a famous Riven player, so just really likes a lot of these annoying solo queue-esque win lane champions.
We're going to say close enough, really. And this is when we get into the upper echelon of players, remember. People like Rookie, people like the Shy, you know, they love this Jayce. Now, Jinoo is in my top tier of top laners still, even though he only returned last series against LNG. Here against FPX, it's going to come down to these lanes. EDG have shown us how clean they were in game number 2. They're going to have to do it again. Otherwise, FPX will refuel. It goes so fast, I can't see. I'm trying to look for names, you know, like if it was EDG, I thought maybe Clear Love throws his name in.
You know, it'd be amazing if they somehow got people like Pawn to do a gyro.
Get like Deft in there as well. Wouldn't that be? I think.
Well, Deft is busy doing his job over in the LCK, but Pawn must have some free time.
Yeah. Anymore? Just get Meiko to do it anyway.
Oh, actually, though, this time Doinb did go with the Comet, so looking a lot more for these trades in lane, and once again sticking with the exhaust, but actually fine this time around where you're Rumble, you don't want to sit and push in the side lane regardless. You are fine giving up pressure in that side lane to group with your team, and Scout's going to be on Syndra as well, so he's not going to be creating pressure in the side lane in mid-game regardless.
And notice this time instead of teleport, he's taken heal in this lane as well. Doinb's also going for that exhaust once again, so interesting to see the trade of summoner spells from game to game. We're Scout now with that heal available. We're going to see what happens here with double phase rush taken by EDG.
And we're really going to have to see what jiejie does on the side of EDG, because we really don't have any engage in this comp going into mid-game team fights. So it's really going to be about abusing your matchups early on, creating pressure. We talked about how Trundle's so good in the early duels, especially level 2, level 3, where your Q and being able to get that AD bonus taken away from the enemy jungle does come out so huge. So you do have a winning top in mid lane. I want to see, does jiejie go for the invade into Tian's jungle?
At the moment, you can see there's no ward coverage on that red side jungle. FPX put a defensive ward up just to see what was going on and if there's any invade coming through. Good trade here onto Jinoo despite Gimgoon. Actually, the minion blocks away that little shock blast, so Gimgoon doing better than expected, but he's on 0 CS because that's the way this is going to go. Ready for the massive combo that's going to come through. Our Observer's ready for it. Wait. It'll come after this one. Just wait.
It's not going to happen.
No. Shock blast combo?
Nope. Nope.
Now?
No.
Anyway, waves crashing in. We just get the Q in the end. I'm sorry to make everyone wait for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, why do you want him to waste his mana for no reason?
Okay, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a Jayce player, am I? I'm not about winning lane, winning game, about winning for the team. But I have a question to ask you, because this composition I'm looking at for EDG feels like it can fall flat in a big way.
Yeah, I agree. When I look at this composition again, I feel like you want FPX to be the one to get on the objective first. Okay. Then you poke out with your Jayce, with your Syndra, with your Kaisa. At the same time, though, they do have the ability to turn. Something like an Equalizer drops on top of you. Pretty much anything from Leona's kit. And EDG aren't going to have a fun time.
Comes down to the execution lines while we look towards the bottom lane.
But they also do have a lot of pick potential in their comp, right? When you have something like the Syndra, Kaisa can obviously get across the map very quickly with her ultimate. Jayce as well, having so much damage. Also the chance that Pope ults in and finds that none of his team are with him at this point as well. Jiejie going towards the bottom side, now spotted out in Tri-Brush. Level 3 here on the Trundle. Meiko going aggressively into Lwx. Hope trying to do the same, but Tian is shadowing this and has been spotted over a ward. Yep, so Tian going to be able to secure that bot side scuttle, so both teams getting one. No action going to be able to happen for now, and we talked about how Scout will have pressure in this lane matchup in the mid lane early. Looking up towards top, Jayce does have 3 typical rune choices. You have the Phase Rush, you have Conquer, and Electrocute. Phase Rush is when you're against lane opponents who can all in and get on top of you. Conquer is a lot more for these extended trades, you know, things against bruisers or tanks. And Electrocute more typically taken in the mid lane or Airy if you're a rookie, you know, looking for these short trades. So maybe 4. In fact, there's the flash burn. The LWXs, very worth here for Meiko. Summoner down. Yeah, great. And this is what we were talking about with Meiko in the last game. He's just so much more decisive in these recent weeks. It's really great to see such a legacy player step up.
Working with Hope better and better. This is the first split that they've worked together consistently here. Remember that Hope only came in for a couple of games in previous splits over iBoy. But Meiko adjusting to the new AD carry. Meiko's been through a lot of AD carries, Lwx, so it's not the first time. But now getting the shove in that bottom lane. Up a bit of CS as well. With the Trundle in bait, jiejie actually goes in for the Gromp, so he's hanging around this bottom side and he's backing on a ward to show that he's still around.
Yep, and Scout is respecting this pressure, knowing that Tian is somewhere where he could be around and just playing back in his lane, but the side of EDG gonna come off these resets first, so they are gonna get on the map first, and jiejie gonna go into his top side jungle, already knows nothing's there. We just saw a pink come out onto Tian, and maybe they're gonna be able to abuse a window to get on top of Drake first.
Mountain to start the game off has just spawned as well. You can see Meiko is taking the extra path around just to drop a ward at this point. Control ward in the back of pit. And Meiko was roaming early in game 1 as well, but he's been spotted out on a deep ward placed by FPX. So Doinb just backing off in this lane, getting the farm with Electro Harpoon.
I feel like jiejie wasted a lot of time going and checking his topside jungle. They knew that Tian was there. They had pinged it out. So just going and checking his camp's wasting a bit of time.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that visual is pretty funny.
It's a floating ice thing. But you're right, he's behind in CS. He's behind by about a camp at this point, while Tian is doing the Raptors on the other side of the map.
Well, and they could have just gotten a quick start on Dragon. Scout would have come back to the lane first. Their bot lane has such a massive tempo advantage. It's, you know, already lost, but still they're going to have that push. But now you're giving FPX a chance to contest, and that equalizer is up for Doinb.
Chris looking to get in position here in the meantime. As the wave crashes in, Doinb will clear this one out quickly. But Dragon already at 2k. Lwx just clears out the wave. EDG looks like they have this one. I don't know why we still see that, but now they engage. Chris can't get the Sonic Wave, or rather the Zenith Blade. He flushes here with the Shield of Daybreak. They turn on top of the support, or rather Scout, excuse me, for first blood. FPX, they won't get the Dragon, but they get the gold.
And great abuse, FPX abusing EDG, taking this Dragon so late. When we talked about they should have looked for that earlier window where they did have that small tempo advantage from their bot lane reset. Getting that kill returned is great for FPX.
And over to Lwx for first blood. BF Sword versus Pickaxe now in the works.
Yeah, great coming out from FPX. But man, I just can't use my words today.
That's okay, neither can I. I said the support died. I saw an S and I thought support, but it was actually Scout. Meanwhile, the real support on EDG with a Hex Splash here, but Chris, maybe he's gone too far. A good little face breaker here, but the ulti comes through from Lwx. It's a trade in the end, but Lwx has so many shurikens. This guy is playing Ninja Gaiden. Wrong game, but Lwx without mana. Now at half health, gonna come through. The engaged Doinb under turret. This is the FPX we know, but Doinb has to back away. They can't get the kill in return, and Scout's coming in.
And let's remember that EDG were actually the ones who engaged that. Meiko going down right away, and Doinb had to push in the mid lane, so he was able to come first. And FPX doing what everyone praised him for last year. It's all about those bot lane dives.
Finally coming through here in game number 3. Now they won't get jiejie. He backs away to his own jungle, but a successful trade at the end of the day. 2 kills onto Lwx now.
And I love this. I love this from Chris.
Yeah. You don't expect him to be here. Jinoo going in for the turret plating trade. He doesn't have ulti, but here comes the World Ender. Gimgoon now going to get traded on himself. Now, you said you love this, but is Jinoo going to get the trade back? He says no. He flushes away. It's followed up by Gimgoon. The damage to come through. Here, blocked away by Chris. Gimgoon gets the heal. Great supporting from FPX.
I told you I love this. Of course it's going to work. And great roam by Chris. And this was something that I loved from him last year. He was so good at finding these opportunities to influence the rest of the map, go top, go into the enemy jungle with Tian, look for ganks on the mid lane, and now they have a man advantage coming this Dragon, but Jinoo has TP.
Chris also has the ultimate available. They're trying to engage on this support. Jinoo uses the TP first. Gimgoon follows in, but now he might be in a bit of trouble. Pillar's going to come through. Stopwatch used. And yeah, no AD carry. They're going to turn. Gimgoon wants the trade kill onto Meiko. Good equalizer, though. And even though they don't have an AD carry, Doinb's flashing in. FPX are burning Jinoo alive. Get me out of this alcove. A Scout looking for the scat of the week. Tian with the kick away. Trying to dodge, and they do. Through the vines. Tian gets ulted, though. And a messy game 3. Baby, you love to see it.
It almost looks so good for FPX. Again, Lwx is sitting in the bot lane getting all this so great for him. And FPX almost come out with a kill advantage, but still 2-2. All these plate golds in the bot lane, all the CS you're getting on top of it for LWX. You feel really good if you're FPX right now.
That dude just took 4 bits of turret plating with his shuriken. Aphelios is ridiculously stupid. And he's going to be doing it again here. Getting the shove in the bottom wave. Jinoo's going to match this. So I guess at the end of the day, you say net worth for FPX. In fact, they trade in the top side. They get Doinb a kill. And LWX is sitting here looking for first turret blood early in the game.
Kill Jinoo.
Good dodge away from the Zenith Blade, though. Important to note here. Chris doesn't have the ultimate either. They're going to wait for the next wave to secure this one.
Yep. And we do see that the Rift Herald did end up going on to Meiko, so FPX are actually going to be able to play around this and look to counteract a push that EDG can make in the top side.
610 gold. LWX is big. Now, we talked a lot this series about laning phase. I know probably not the time as EDG looked for the trade with the Rift Herald, but that back, I guarantee you, Essence Reaver and a bit more here for FPX, who are still leading after that turret push in the top lane by 1,500 gold.
Yeah, so they're going to be way up, and now EDG are in a position where they need to reset. FPX are going to have...
Ward. Meiko's on a ward. Not good. Flashes away. I'm sure the summon Airy would have really helped him in that situation. But all fun considered, time to look at the gold on the left-hand screen.
And FPX are already coming off their resets, so they can go and control...
Hey, Chaos, can you react? Zenith Blade and Jiejie's dead. Can you react?
I was going to say, now you get to control Jiejie's death timer. So, great play coming out from FPX. And we have Dragon coming up in 15 seconds. So we do expect to see LWX head down and then they'll look for this objective.
I think Jiejie wanted to back anyway, so
give it up.
He said thank you. LWX has more turret plating to get, man.
Yeah, I would say we were talking about it especially a lot in week 1, and then when the broadcast returned in week 3, just how many teams are willing to give up these early dragons?
But hey, this is the bottom lane in the top side. I'm sorry to interrupt you here, Lyric, because FPX want to do it again.
I want them to do it again. Let's go.
But EDG this time, maybe in a position to match. Jinoo's roamed up as well from his side lane. Scout in position, but backing away. And FPX are paying them the respect this time around, which stops the turret push that LWX wanted to get.
Yeah, but kind of taking a step back at how they could have played it out. I love that FPX are saying, hey, actually, we don't need this dragon. Let's just keep snowballing our gold leads, get so far ahead that then we can look to stack 4 dragons, or probably win before that with the gold they'd have regardless, but still stack 4 dragons in a row, come out with such a large stats advantage, and then really be able to punish EDG in the mid and late game.
But at the end of the day, with EDG moving up and FPX backing away, they're here in time where the dragon hasn't been taken. They can just start this one up, and EDG with no contest means that they're making the dragon play in the end of the day. With the Cloud Soul on the Rift, I am very much sure that FPX will love this one.
At the same time, though, with EDG losing that, I don't think it's a big deal since you were able to cover that potential dive that could have happened. So not letting FPX snowball out of control is a win.
And Gimgoon get out of here. As the World Ender available, Jinoo pressures him for it, and he'll just walk away.
Now it's going to be all about how EDG can control these sides, especially with this Jayce. Would be nice to see Jiejie and Jinoo look for what they just looked for, you know, continuously trying to get these picks, make him a big threat so he doesn't fall off in the mid to late game.
Super surprised to see Umbral Glaive on Jinoo as a first item as well. We normally see it on like the AD carry or like support center.
It's just so cheap, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy to pick up. Your back timing feels very good, and pro players all the time play off feel especially, so you get a good back, you have that exact amount of gold, it's like why not pick it up? Does increase in its efficiency throughout the game, obviously, being able to kill those wards.
Yep. Because I always see Dustblade first with the unseen passive that Jayce likes to play through with Brush and the Shock Blast combo. Things are going down on the top side though. FPX want to revisit this turret, but turret plating is going to disappear as they push on in.
Yeah, and I like that they still bring up jiejie and Meiko to just cover this, not letting...
So dumb. Sorry.
I love how offended you are by this champion.
I've never been more tilted by a champion. I saw Zoe, I casted Zoe when she first came out. I thought, she's ridiculous, but you can dodge it.
And when Zoe's behind, It actually feels really hard to play. It feels very lackluster, right?
Crap.
Yeah, because you really rely on vision control and, you know, playing with terrain and choke points. But Aphelios, pretty much at all points in the game, any situation, feels like he could just turn the game around. When
Aphelios is like, you know, 1 and 7 or something, and he's 2 items behind the other AD carry, he still somehow manages to 1 versus 3 at some time. We've seen our fair share of ridiculous Aphelios here, and again, queuing it up for Lwx to beat that this game. 20 CS up over his lane opponent, Hope. It's EDG. You see this lyric? You see this one?
Yeah.
They're looking for Gimgoon. They want to bully the weakness of FPX. He's got flash available though. Scatter the weak, going to be used. Nope. Unleash power, because that's what Syndra is.
And we just talked about this actually, that we want to see EDG bullying out Gimgoon on the side and trying to get Jinoo in a place where he's strong. Scout being the one to pick up that kill though doesn't hurt at all, and getting these soul lanes ahead is what you want. We need Jayce to be a strong bully in this side lane going forward.
At least draw attention. He's already 35 CS over Gimgoon, and now he gets the turret gold from there as well. Meanwhile, Lwx is going to work his magic on this top turret, but at least on top of that, Scout got the kill. Scout is gearing up to be the big Syndra in this 3rd game yet again.
Yeah, but Lwx is going to be the big Aphelios, and, you know, if you ask me which one I prefer, having that Aphelios does feel pretty good.
He's got a Zeal, he's got double dagger. I'm waiting for that Renan's Hurricane in this next pack. You can see this game already, Tian has been shadowing him with every move. Tian's focus has been, okay, I'm going to farm somewhere near my AD carry. And that's all Tian's been doing. He's got 3 kills, and he's got 30 CS over jiejie.
And we talked about already how it's going to be interesting when it comes to these neutral objectives, because if you're EDG, if you start it up, I feel like you just give such a good opportunity for FPX to get on top of you, where you are condensed into, you know, some point on the map, a choke point like Dragon or Baron. So does EDG look to start a neutral, or do they just keep farming up, getting their carries strong, and say, hey, FPX, we're going to let you get on top of it, and we're going to layer down this poke? But FPX actually don't need to start it if they don't want to.
But they're going to anyway. It's on towards the Rift Herald here with priority through the river. You can see EDG know this is happening. But I guess the answer is no. They're going to clear out the minion wave and back away.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going to just try to get bot side control and play for this next Dragon.
Yeah. But you're a team with a fed Aphelios who likes pushing turrets. Where is this going to go? Well, there's a mid lane juicy turret waiting for you.
And EDG's comp has such a hard time of playing from behind too, especially Jayce is a champion, and when your comp really relies on getting vision and, you know, setting up sieges, you obviously don't get in that position if you're behind.
You can see already the damage, not what you'd expect onto Doinb here, but is heading towards the second lethality item up in that top lane. I need to go across because we've got the Rift Herald started up here. Doinb hasn't used Equalizer for a while. His hand is on that R trigger.
Yep, him and Chris are going to be the key members to watch out for, trying to get that engage onto EDG.
Rift Herald's ready for the charge here, but FPX won't be able to get the turret. They have to back away. You can see the poke damage from Scout was enough to deter them as jiejie goes into face check for this scrying orb, but Chris is caught out here. Good pillar. Forces the flash. That was beautiful from EDG.
And that's a mistake by Chris, but also FPX as a team, where because they were posturing like they wanted to contest a Drake, right?
Yep.
So they need a clear vision as a team. They know that EDG gave up Rift Herald and we're bot side, so they should have vision in their jungle. Someone should have been with it.
But they have a split focus here. Only 4 members of EDG in the mid lane, and FPX know it. On top of Meiko forces his flash as well. The poke comes through with the Equalizer, and nowhere to go but forward. Doinb on top of Scout as well. This Rumble demands attention. He'll go down. Meiko tries to take someone as well. But in the end, FPX are taking it all. Hope has nowhere to go but back on in. At least he gets Chris, but Lwx says thank you for the money. And that's what FPX got in that fight.
And Doinb showing us why he's so feared on this Rumble. His Equalizer was so good, splitting up the members of EDG and then flashing in so aggressively to get on top of Scout.
It is one of the most banned against FPX for that reason alone. And Tian on top of the Dragon will reap the final reward of that play.
I love it. They're so decisive and put so much pressure on EDG. JJ actually can't even finish the Dragon, but like you said, this all started from EDG's split focus, where we see JJ on the Dragon right now gives FPX a window to get on top of them. Doesn't matter how low Chris is, just has to lay down that ultimate and let the other members of FPX do the work.
And you talked about commitment and all on the same page. I mean, Doinb flushing on top of Scout, the rest of FPX follow through.
Tian's kick was so nice.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the Chinese voice of Rumble. It's just so over-dramatic.
I told you, the Chinese voices are amazing.
They really are cool. My favorite is Oriana. I know turning the client into English here was a bit of a pain, but now ready for a solo kill. Doinb has found himself a Jinoo. On top of the equalizer, it doesn't matter. Jinoo is going to survive a big solo kill to show you why Jayce is big.
We talked about how Rumble does not want to be in the side lane. He's not going to win against this Jayce. This is one of EDG's primary win conditions. If the wave is ever pretty much neutral at river, you just want to wait for it to get pushed into your side. Then, you know, catch the wave, set up for a slow push, do whatever you need to do to prepare for that next objective.
And this could be a really good window. We're going to look at it again in the bottom left-hand corner of our screen, but it's simply a solo kill.
Just a good cheeky play coming out from Jinoo.
Yeah. Now there's a man advantage here for EDG. They try to push through the mid lane. Still a lot of wave clear here through Infernum, Renan's Hurricane, Aphelios on the side of Lwx. So the play won't be successful, but EDG get a bit more damage. They get time to back away here and reset as well. Also,
an interesting thing to think about now, actually, is with the change in build to Death's Dance, actually will be better against Jayce and people who build lethalities, because you are going to get that 30 armor.
It's like we buffed Aatrox. Actually, we really did, didn't we?
Hey, I talked about this with Munchables on cast that there was actually a secret buff, which was a bug change that before he had a problem where he wasn't properly able to heal on shields. It was really frustrating, really annoying me, and that bug finally got fixed. So the true buff.
I didn't know that was a thing. Obviously, I'm not an Aatrox player, but that kind of sucks, actually, that you think about it.
A lot of us Aatrox mains out there.
You are an Aatrox and Rumble main, and now you got them on the same team. So you can talk about everything. Scout, meanwhile, was very close to that blue buff, getting angry and walking back home. But now we're back to the point of getting the game state in our hands. 2K gold lead here for FPX at 21 minutes. Second Cloud is coming up in 2 minutes 30. Baron's been on the menu for a while, but no one's willing to order it. Meanwhile, FPX have controlled vision around that purple worm, and EDG are looking to approach the objective.
Also interesting to note that jiejie did go for that Gargoyle Stone Plate. Not something we typically see first item on Trundle, but Trundle has so many builds. We've talked about that before. He can go the Knight's Vow, has gone Zeke's. We see Spirit Visage against AP-heavy team comps.
Trinity Force, and if you're super fed.
Yep. But this game, the fact that he really is the primary frontline for EDG since Meiko did go with the Omni Stone rune, does make sense that he would go for this, but still, if you're FPX, you're not trying to whittle down jiejie. You're trying to get straight onto that backline.
Hope and Scout. Scout, who's got a gold lead here over Doinb. Hope, who's nowhere near the gold lead of Lwx. 11K. He's got the most gold in this game by about 2,000. He's the FPX gold lead right now. Lwx has 240 CS at 22 minutes and a BF sword ready to turn into a GA shortly. He's just been farming mid, farming bot this whole game, and is the person who's leading with items here in this third game.
To be fair, though, to Hope, EDG haven't put any of their focus onto him. And even with this draft, when you pick up something like the Jayce, you really want to put all of your emphasis onto this champion.
I mean, look at him. He's a ninja.
What game did you say we were playing last?
I think Ninja Gaiden is the reference I used. I think I remember playing that on like PlayStation 1 or 2. Those were the good old days. I've become a boomer today. EDG walk towards the objective though. They pick up the Scuttle Crab, and that's important to note because Scuttle does give them a bit more time to play it safely here in this game. We talked a lot about what scaling was or what EDG would have to do here in this game. They're at a point where the early game hasn't gone as successfully as you'd hope with the Jayce, with the Syndra. But Hope, as you mentioned, the person who doesn't have many resources, is starting to get to that point where he's going to be chunking out a bit of damage. And he is going for the AP Kaisa build, as mentioned before. And I'm waiting for that Mirror Mana to be stacked up as well for a bit of hit in the damage window.
A lot of the weight of this game is going to be on his shoulders in the later stages, though, because EDG do have good, consistent damage in the late game, right? They have Kaisa, they have the Syndra, they have good peel coming out from the Trundle, but at the same time, you don't really have the tools to be proactive, is what we've talked about, right?
Yeah.
You rely a lot on what FPX decide to do, and when we have a dynamic like that, that's what scares me for EDG going forward.
You said in the early game, wait for FPX to get set up and then fight them around these objectives. Right now, FPX around this Cloud Dragon are setting up, but not starting it here, not giving EDG the window to go in.
Like, your only other option, let's ignore other options. Let's watch this fight.
Because Doinb has the ultimate available, Equalizer. It comes down perfectly. Jinoo locked down. And FPX know that this is theirs to take. Meiko finds a great engage. but the rest of the team can't follow up. In comes Tian with the flash, kicks down the troll, and FPX do it again.
FPX just playing the style that they love, and we talked about how hard it is for EDG's composition to play out these fights. They don't currently have the damage to win out, aren't able to lay down the poke, and FPX looking a lot like game one, forcing EDG into the positions where they are superior.
Backs into the corner once again. On top of Baron, they begin. Only Hope and Scout to make a miracle.
Yeah, and ooh, you're relying a lot on Scout hitting an amazing Scatter of the Week right now.
Well, one orb goes in, Scatter of the Week onto two members. It's Doinb and Tian into the pit. Oh, Smite just in time now for the re-engage. Teleport coming in, but it's FPX bringing the cavalry. Lwx with another, and that's Baron secured.
Baron for FPX, and we forgot to mention too, FPX did have those exhausts, so even if Scout and Hope get forward, it doesn't matter. And now EDG 5k gold ahead, right on the heels of Dragon Soul, and they bear. So,
and FPX are on the cusp of securing playoffs this spring as the third guaranteed team off the back of this play. Solar Flare starts it.
Yeah, and the surprising thing is if you're EDG, you knew he was there from that ward that you have. You still end up getting caught out with Meiko aggressing forward, and FPX just looking really good.
I was counting the stuns there, Lyric. It was Solar Flare, Gravitum. I believe that we got Shield of Daybreak there as well at the end with the Zenith Blade. And Jinoo didn't get to play that fight at all. He just stood there and took the burn. So, again, that coordination we talk about with FPX, the World Championship team, that are showing us they're still on the same page. And as a 5-man roster with Gimgoon back in the mix here, they're performing to their limits.
Games like this, I feel like, are a big reason why we don't see Jayce more in the meta in LPL, where...
That's fair. Sorry, no, it's true. It's true. I'm sorry to laugh at you. Continue forward.
Well, you're not laughing at me.
I'm laughing with you.
You're laughing at the sad state of LPL Jayce, but not even just Jayce. There's any of these champions, Jayce, Quinns, Fjords, anything that really needs to get pressure in a side lane. And sure, Jayce does have pressure in these team fights, does have the ability to poke you down, one-shot you with that combo.
But now he's getting forced out. Jinoo flashes yet again here away from the fight. You saw Lwx use the ulti before because this Aphelios wanted to regress forward with Chris, and they do on top of the
And that
turret.
sets up my point perfectly that I was going to say engage is king here in the LPL.
And the king of engage in Tian this game, who's had a much better recovery, was looking for his window once more with Baroned up minions. Lwx getting poked out here, but pushing forward now. Scout's in a bit of trouble. Equalizer yet again. Scout flashes away. Unleashed power with the two-man Scatter of the Week. Opportunity here for Meiko, who has fleet footwork. Gimgoon into the world end, the poke comes through. FPX looking for the turnaround here. Gravitum there on top of Meiko. Chris actually walking away. The fight stops there, but FPX were willing to turn.
Yeah, so FPX having to back away, not able to get this mid inhibitor, but still, you were able to get that mid turret, and you are in a position where you can start setting up control for this next Drake. You don't even need to set up control. You have control.
Just do it. Just do it. Cloud Soul on the horizon. Baron buff was used quite well there. Breaks open middle inhibitor turret, but not the inhibitor.
Just look at LWX's items.
I mean, we saw him split pushing in a turret. He got so much turret plating. Again, the gold lead this game, I think a lot of it is on the back of this AD carry, who we talked about in game one as, you know, laning phase has been looking good recently for Lwx in comparison to other AD carries, but team fighting still, he's an absolute menace.
Yeah, he's still, once we get to these mid-game stages, playing solo around these team fights, and we talked about this game, how he doesn't really have any options to peel for him, but I guess you don't have to feel that afraid against EDG's comp about not having peel, because there isn't anyone who's necessarily going to jump into you.
Side of FPX, Tian was looking like the person who would. All right, Jinoo didn't get it through the acceleration gate, unfortunately. But Solar Flare going to come through again onto Scout. They want him. Zenith Blade is Scatter of the Week away from. But here comes the Equalizer yet again. EDG is zoned away. Gimgoon in once more. A good ultimate here from Meiko. The turnaround from EDG. It's possible with Scatter of the Week. Definitely possible. But now for the return from Doinb. He pokes out, gets hooked, and he goes Tian. Golden in the nick of time. Lwx survives though. And that's bad news bears for EDG, losing their inhibitor at the end.
Yeah. That's scary damage. Not that scary, I guess, but still. But great job by FPX. Was looking a bit dicey at first with Lwx getting zoned out from the fight. Doinb does end up going down, but the fact that you get the inhibitor and now you also do get the Cloud Soul.
Still a net win.
Still a net win.
Even though EDG, I mean, Scout on Syndra, has been doing a lot of work here, and that fight was close. Even Meiko on the set has to be propped up, and the reason we're complimenting the team here that is against the Cloud Soul FPX that is 6k gold down is because despite that lead, they're still showing us that they have the potential here in this game. They don't want to miss out on that potential playoff spot just yet.
And I do want to say, coming into this match, despite their recent loss to Vici, I at least expected a 2-0 for FPX.
Yeah.
Especially once we saw the rosters that Gimgoon was going to come back in. Again, this team just won Worlds. They've looked so dominant with Gimgoon. Let's take a look at this fight. We actually see Crisp trying to go in. Doesn't hit the perfect ult. Isn't able to get over the wall. Good pillar coming out from jiejie. And Lwx not able to get in the fight. Zoned out by Meiko so well. And even Jinoo finding a way to jump on top of him. Burning out that GA. And this is where kind of the diciness came out for FPX, where since he's down in the GA, he's not able to lay out this consistent DPS, which gives EDG the chance to get that pick onto Doinb.
And it's still 1-for-1 in the end as well. Meiko is actually towards his top side. I don't think he's been spotted out. Doinb is pushing against this wave, but if Meiko gets caught here, I think that's just game.
Well, it looks like they're setting him up for a flank, but I'm sure if he runs into FPX, he just gets burst.
However, if he finds a flank with EDG, this is their way.
If it's coordinated,
yes,
could work out.
Glacial Augment picked up as well. Good timing. Oh no, it's expired.
Once again, the name of the game is get on top of Lwx. His flash is down, his GA is down, he doesn't have exhaust.
But on the side of the mid lane for FPX, Rabadon's just picked up. So now that's a problem. The flank we're talking about from Meiko begins now.
That is definitely a big problem.
Baron starts, the engage is there. Chris goes in first. Here comes Meiko with the engage. He pulls on back, but the equalizer is lined up towards the blue buff. Oh no, even with the damage from EDG, this one's going down and going down for EDG. The ace comes through and FPX have blown them apart.
That was amazing, where we talked about the name of the game was get on top of Lwx. Meiko tries, they'll jump on top of him. Really good stopwatch buys time for Doinb's amazing equalizer, which hit all 5 members of EDG. Doesn't matter that you ended up killing Lwx, because that did so much damage with that death cap you talked about. They come out with a win.
A big moment here for FPX yet again. They managed to secure themselves a playoff before the end of the split. Here in week number 6, FPX, they're going to the top 8, and they do it against style, against EDG.
The fact that they do it against a team who, but at least before this game, I'm pretty sure they still are ranked 5th, is also really, really big.
EDG came close to shutting them down at that point as well, so props to EDG, but at that point, you're saying, hey, FPX, they're looking like a playoff team yet again. We expected that, but now the results have come through.
I would just say, I was going to say, I hope they look like a playoff team for the fact that they just qualified for playoffs.
Yeah, you'd really hope so, but that game shows you why FPX are to be feared. I mean, the Rumble, again, that hasn't been given over to Doinb, is a massive priority for this mid laner.
They are just so good when it comes to these skirmishes and team fights, and yes, we do see a couple missteps each game. You know, they're not gods that don't make mistakes.
No.
But at least a majority of the time, they're able to force you into the position where they know they're superior.
And you have to look at FPX in this way that, like, it is part of a, you know, in a way, it's like a well-oiled machine in some parts, which is what we used to call EDG.
Yeah.
They're the cogs that all spin together, where Crisp is a big part of that. I think Crisp had a great series where Lwx is benefactor in some sense as well, where Doinb starts the element, and then we move to, like, you know, Tian in the jungle that game especially. And even Gimgoon's Aatrox has its part to play.
I mean, especially that game 1, his Aatrox came up huge, and it feels like the fact that he's able to consistently group up with his team, not get like caught up in some skirmish in the side lane, just be this massive threat, is really important for FPX's team dynamic.
All right, well, there you go. Doinb's damage at the end of the day. Rabadon's death cap. What more can you say? Equalizers consistently on point.
Yeah, he had 3 big ones that I really remember. Obviously, the last one in the game, the one in the mid lane, which zoned Scout off, and they had one in a Dragonfight bot side river. All of those hit between 3 and 5 people.
And you got to think from here on for FPX. Now they set their eyes on the bigger prize. For FPX, let's not forget that they finished 13-2, 14-1 in their individual splits last year. They got their eyes on the semifinals, right? They want the top 2 spots.
Yeah, this time around they could be looking for 13-3, right? Yeah, 13-3.
13-3.
So now they're sitting at 10-3. That's possible, and yeah, they could have another great regular season.
They're now 10-3 right now, and I'm opening this bad boy up to tell you that as the 3rd confirmed team, they now sit above E-Star. In terms of game differential, they're above E-Star quite handedly, and now they're on the heels of IG.
Yeah, and that would be an exciting one. It sucks that we got that the first week, because can you imagine if we were able to end the LPL on something like that?
Yeah,
but, oh well, a more exciting matchup for playoffs.
IG and FPX, they didn't verse each other in playoffs last time around. I would say, though, if I saw EDG and FPX again in playoffs, I'd still say this is an exciting matchup because of the different dynamics we actually saw within this series and how EDG like to play out their games as we saw in Game 2.
And everyone who watches LPL knows that playoffs is a completely different monster and that anything can happen.
JDG, a great example of that in spring last year.
Yeah, so not expected at all. Heck, that was the regular season where FPX, once again, first place. Their win differential was
something insane.
They were first place. That was like the 13-2 or whatever it was. They were expected to once again go to the finals, got upset by JDG, and that's all she wrote. We think about summer with IG losing to LNG.
Yeah, that's right. But FPX making it all the way to RNG and winning the finals there for their first domestic title. So a big moment here for FPX yet again. For EDG, let's talk about where they sit. 8-5 now. There is no hope gone for EDG. They're still expected to be a playoff team alongside top esports, JDG as well. But at the moment, every win kind of counts. And we were talking about their schedule the other day, Lyric. Let me just pull it up. This is about computers. You can't trust technology. Their schedule is OMG, IG, and WE.
Wait, for EDG?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so like, the FPX obviously
No, FPX
so EDG do have a very tough schedule. I don't, it's tough, but at the same time, I also believe that they are not a heavy underdog against any of these teams, right?
Yeah.
IG is a winnable matchup. OMG, I would say EDG should be slightly favored. And with 1 or 2 wins, they are locked in.
I would say EDG versus OMG could determine a place, even for EDG to show us that they are ready for playoffs as well. IG's a hard matchup, but WE is definitely the one where it's like, when WE are making playoffs and what form do EDG come into with, what slot to EDG secure? Because we talked about 9 being the magic number. Now we know it's 10.
Yeah.
But 9 is still that potential of the final spots remain.
Exactly. 10 is just the confirmation, right? Yeah. It's not, you can maybe end up in playoffs with 8 or 9. We need to see. But as you just mentioned, in our final week, we have RNG, WE, and OMG, all EDG, WE, and OMG all duking it out, which are our mid-tier.
Let's come back to FPX, though, because their schedule was LGD, Rogue Warriors, and top esports. In terms of them securing top 2, very realistic. LGD and Rogue Warriors shouldn't be really a challenge for them. Top esports to finalize that one.
And we just saw it announced on social media by top esports. Jackie Love getting to the base, right?
Yeah, I thought you said he was 100% playing on the series, but he is at the base.
You saw the news, too.
I saw the news. Jackie Love is at the base. So Jackie Love versus LWX, I mean, that's exciting, but Jackie Love versus FPX itself, when FPX and IG had a bit of a bloody history last year in the regular season.
And the fact that I'm pretty sure that's our very last game of LPL regular season.
It's on Monday,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's on the Monday, the week 7, the Monday after on the 20th of April. However, coming back to this series quickly, Crisp deserves MVP here. I think he did.